Hello fellow stitchers, I'd like to welcome you all to Crazy Cat Lady Stitches, and a big thank you to all of you lovely people who have dropped by and have watched my videos and have subscribed, liked and shared them. I have appreciated that you've taken the time to join me. In this video I'm starting a new project. I'm going back to when I started to stitch and was taught to embroider by my nan and my Aunt Sheila. Both of these ladies were great needleworkers, and embroidery was my grandmother's trade, making uniform badges for the forces and like. Here's a project that I finished recently. If I reverse it, the only thing that indicates it as the back is where I trailed the thread for the French knots. I was being lazy there. So today's project is a tablecloth with a Christmas theme. I don't expect to finish it before Christmas, but I thought I would start on it now and show how I create my embroidery. It comes pre-printed and it has all the threads. I need to sort this out. It's going to do my head in. I'm going to have to sort that out. And a needle too. If you notice, the needle is slightly different to what we use in cross stitch, as the fabric we're stitching on tends to be a very tight weave, like cotton or twill, that requires a sharper needle to stab it. Many embroidery stitches are found in modern needlework designs such as Chatelaine and Teresa Wenslisser, and we all know the back stitch and the French knots are often included in cross-stitch designs. So when you buy a kit, the instructions will be included to create the stitch. These are in German, and I had to get Google Translate to work out the stitches. A good stitch reference books would be helpful, and you can pick these up online or through a charity or second-hand shop. It doesn't matter what year the book was printed, the stitches are the same, but the language to explain them may have evolved. So let's prepare to stitch. My accessories intend to include scissors, tail tucker, stitch laying tool or a large tapestry needle, some thread conditioner, and of course an embroidery hoop. Normally I would salvage the edges, but as this is a tablecloth I don't need to do this, but I would have something like a pillowcase to put the excess cloth in so I don't dirty it as I stitch. The frame that I'm using today is new to me, and forgive me if I don't pronounce this properly, but it is a Rajmal 10-inch Stitch Easy frame that I recently acquired in the Black Friday sales, so I will be trying this out as well. So the first stitch I'll be showing you when I get everything set up is the split stitch, which I use to outline an area that I'm going to stitch on. Usually some form of straight stitch, satin stitch, leaf stitch, something that needs a little shaping and bordering so you can just outline it. So let's get started, and we're going to start with prepping our frame. So bear with me. The frame I am using is new to me, a Ramage 10-inch Stitch Easy frame. I recently acquired it in the Black Friday sales. This is the new frame. It is really nice. You can move it around and to position it, and you can do your back work quite easily. Let me get it into the right position. Right, I'm going to unscrew this. Slip this out. Take that away for a moment. Let's just put that over there. Get my project. Make sure I've got the right way up. Yep. As you can see, I'm going to need to move my frame a little bit, but as I'm working in the centre for the moment, I'm going to start on the bells. Then you get your frame, just make sure it's really loose, slide it over, and then tighten up. So I'm just going to pull this bit of thread over, and then what you do, you flip your frame over so it's like that. The excess thread can go over the table like that, and there is your work surface. I'm just pulling it taut, and then what I need to do is just tighten up the bottom nuts so it doesn't move around too much. Then position it so I can see it, and that's how you frame your easy stitch frame. Right, before we start, I'll just read the instructions, and there's the diagram for the stitches, and here is the design layout, and here is the key. First of all, I need to find where I put my needle. Right, I am starting off here with the bells, and we're doing B stitch, which is a straight stitch. Here comes the translate. Right, I'm going to start here on the bells, and it's in satin stitch. What I'm going to do is a split stitch to mark out these lines, and it'll be in the colour, what colour are we using? 301. I've organised my threads, they're quite long, and this design is worked over 3 threads, so I'm just going to pull a skein out. It's a long one. And I'm going to cut this in half so I've not got too much of a length. So I'm going to cut this into half, things, put that to one side so I don't lose it, and then I'm just going to take a single stitch, a strand. This is anchor thread, so I know if I run out I can always get some more. Doing it this way does help a lot. Right, to start with, I've threaded my needle, I've got the colour that I need here, and I'm going to start off with a split stitch. So what I'm going to do is work from underneath. This is a very fine weave, it's almost like you could do 1/1 with. I've noticed that this is a very fine count weave, it's almost like an even weave, but as I say, there's usually cotton or twill. If I show you this one, you can see the difference in the type of material. Let's do the split stitch. Right, I've done my first stitch, so I'm coming up through the middle at the end. This is not a chain stitch. A chain stitch is where you loop it. This is a split stitch, so I'm just going to go down, get my layering tool. Where did I put that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down a bit further down, keep the distance even. Just going to use the layering tool to straighten it, and then I'm going to split the stitch. And then I'm going to repeat it. Slide that under. And go. In. And hit that. Now I'm going to come across here, just going slightly in the line. And I'm going to split the stitch here. Come up. Split stitch. And I'll just finish the stitch off by doing a small pin stitch. There you go. So that is the stem stitch. Right, so now we're ready to start doing the satin stitch. So I've got my length, and I'm going to split this into 3. So there's the 3 strands as prescribed by the pattern. I'm just going to thread my needle, and I'm just going to do another little pin stitch in the centre of here. And with satin stitch I always work from centre out, because normally the centre is the widest or the longest bit. So let me just do this. If I was doing a padded satin stitch, I'd be doing loads of these little stitches in here to pad it, but I'm not. I'm just doing this to secure it. So I'm going to come up here, just there. There's my laying tool. And with my laying tool, I'm just going to go directly opposite and down. And I'm just going to lay that flat. Then I'm just going to come up next door to it. And do it again. Laying tool. Let's get that one. Why is that not? Let me just get this out. Ah, that's why, a good old little knot. Now, most knots you just push and pull and they are undone and they untwist, so that's nice and flat. Down into next door to it. I like working with a frame like this when I'm doing embroidery. Excuse me. I like working with a frame like this is so I can move it in the direction that I need to move it in to keep my stitches straight. This is really nice. I've got plenty of room under to do my threading. And if it's like there, do you feel like there's a gap, too much of a gap in between, you can always go backwards, pull that taut, and then go back in underneath. just go back one. Fill that space in. So I've finished with that half, so I'm just going to rotate the stand, and I'm going to get my thread and I'm going to work it through the back of the work until I get to the middle. Then I'm just going to repeat the process across this side.
plays a part above. There's a special star shining from afar, seeking us to warm up every heart, to be our light into the night. Bless us with a moment of serenity. Let it come to bloom. Joyful Christmas news. Hope will find its way to you. Hope will find its way to
Right, I've only got enough to do another satin stitch, so what I'll do is complete the stitch underneath here. Where's my laying tool? Right, this section of satin stitch is now complete. I will be going on to do this section, which you will see later in another video when I come to fill in and do some other types of stitches. So if you've enjoyed this little demonstration, could you give this video a thumbs up? Could you consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed, and sharing this video amongst your friends and families who like stitching. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.